Hey, how are y'all doing? It's Keto MC, Missy. I haven't made a video in a while, just, life things happening. Still, uh, trying to work things with mom and her sitter. Sorry, I had to sneeze. I'm looking outside at the sunshine and still some of the white stuff on the ground. I don't even know that I would call it snow. I don't really know what it is. But it's icy. It melts just enough, to leave it wet, and then it refreezes. And so we are on day 3 out of school this week. So they called Monday and Tuesday, late Sunday afternoon, and then Tuesday at 4 o'clock, they called today. So one more day. So a lot of the roads still have ice on them, especially the less traveled roads, like the major highway, major roads and stuff are clear and pretty much okay. You can travel on them without too much. But the smaller roads that don't get traveled as much, but school buses still have to use. So that's their main priority, is making sure that the kids are safe on the school buses, which I get. I understand that. I wouldn't, that would be horrible to have anything happen. But anyway, so I'm enjoying a third snow day. I don't know what you call this, ice, snow, whatever. But anyway, I haven't made a video in a while. I made some, was it over the summer? Maybe over the summer or over one of the breaks from school. I think I had made some videos talking to y'all about what I now believe, and that I no longer consider myself to be a Christian. I consider myself to be Kodashim, which is set apart one. So that's really grown a lot. I found a group of people actually on YouTube, and we have a Zoom meeting every Saturday morning, which is the actual Sabbath, and every Saturday afternoon, about 5-ish. So we right now are going through the Book of Jubilees. We usually try to cover two chapters a week. So this past Saturday, that morning, we did chapter 11, and the afternoon we did chapter 12, because there's just so much. There's so much to discuss. And then, of course, everybody, has to put in there what they think and what it means to them, which is great because you get a lot of insight. Get a lot more meaning out of it talking to other people about it, rather than just studying it on your own and being by yourself. Just, a lot of different perspectives of how things are looked at. So that's been great. And in that group, we also, that same group of people, we have a group text. So we stay in touch all week. And our group text is called Iron Sharpens Iron. Our YouTube group is Commandment Keepers. So anyway, it's been so nice. It has been so, I can't describe the word for it, but it's been great because, we can come together, we can pray for each other. Prayer in Hebrew is the word palal, P-A-L-A-L. And, this is relatively a belief system that is being rediscovered by people. This is really how people used to be. I I was reading something yesterday. I'm trying to think what I was looking at. Oh, I have just finished the book yesterday, and it is called Christianity and the Great Deception. It is by Rob Scholl. I think I have mentioned the book before, but I'm not positive because it's been a while. But y'all, that he gets into a little bit into Revelation, and you want to talk about opening your eyes and waking up. That book will wake you up. There's probably a lot of people that reject a lot of that because it is so pretty much 180 from what we have all grown up with going to church. So that's, some of that is like a hard slap in the face to wake you up. Throwing the cold water in your face or whatever. It's really, it's very hard. It's very hard. I don't, I want to share on here with y'all about how I feel about all that. I'm not nervous because I don't know any of y'all. Y'all don't really know me in person, just what you see right here. But I will say I have left comments on TikToks on, I don't know if I've done it so much on YouTube channels. I don't, because what I watch on YouTube, I don't really comment very much on this kind of stuff. I mainly just use it as a tool to learn, but then when you run across people on TikTok and they're still using the Jesus word and the God word and the Lord word, and you just want to shake them and go, you have no idea who you're really calling on, because it's not who you think. It is not who you think. It's not who you think. Y'all, it's been, if you went to church growing up all your life, like, I grew up Baptist and then I was Assembly of God, and you just, you prayed to JC and you calling that name to be saved, and you calling that name for healing for yourself or for someone else, and of course it is where your heart is. But then once you learn what I've been learning, it's kind of that old saying, once you know better, do better. Well, yeah, because once you know the truth and you know who that name is really calling on, you never never want to call on that again. Never. It's really hard to come to all this, y'all. I know I sound like a broken record because I keep saying that, but I mean, it's a lot easier now than it was this summer when I was waking up. But I will say that this Zoom group, this group text group that I'm in, it is just so wonderful to just be able to freely use those words. And I've shared with some people in my real life, of course, my husband and my children, and but my husband's still trying to get used to it. One thing that I have that's probably changed quite a bit since I made the last video, or put the last video out this summer, y'all, I was huge into MAGA. You know what I'm talking about? Make America Great Again. I was definitely on the Trump train. I was definitely voting for him, pulling for him, listening every time he had, he made any kind of press conference, or he made any kind of speech, or he made any kind of anything, and I was gung ho, gung ho, gung ho. I am not. I am not. And that is the part that has caused a little rift between my husband and I, because he can't wake up to who that person really is. He doesn't want to wake up to that. He doesn't want to see the truth about all that. I told y'all when I made the first few videos over the summer, I think I said this. Maybe I didn't, and I'm not going to go back and watch any of that for that reason. But I don't ever plan on voting again. I don't ever plan on voting in an election again. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. The person who either Yahuwah wants in or the other side wants in, that's who's going to get in. It doesn't matter. Freedom of choice in voting is an illusion. It's an illusion. It doesn't matter who you vote for. It really doesn't. The person that's supposed to be in that office is the one who's going to be in that office. I see so much now. I see, I was going to tell you about a conversation my husband and I had yesterday, and I was, kind of reading to him, and I don't know if I think I've shared on here that I did get a Sefer Bible. I haven't gotten rid of any of my other Bibles. I do have a TS 2009, which is the Scriptures, is the Institute of Scripture Research. I have that Bible, but now I also have something called a Sefer, which the word Sefer is actually used in Scripture. It means a book, a Sefer. So I have a Sefer, Millennium Edition, and it has, I guess I have talked to y'all about this because that's how I'm reading Jasher. And I think I talked to y'all about the fact that you can I have talked to y'all about this, sorry. How you can get the app. You can buy the Sefer app for your iPhone. I have an iPhone, but I also have a Kindle. Well, Kindle's not iOS, so I had to buy the app again for my Kindle because I wanted it on my Kindle. And yes, I have a paper hard copy of the Sefer, but that thing is pretty big and pretty heavy, and I don't want to carry it everywhere. So if I can just have it on my phone, have the Sefer on my phone to look at, and then at night when I am sometimes reading to fall asleep, I'll look at my Kindle because I can put it on a black background so it's not so stark. But because I don't have on my glasses at night because I wear a CPAP, I can't put the glasses on over the CPAP. So I have to have a bigger print to be able to read. So I have now, for my iPhone and for my Kindle, I have purchased the Sefer app for each of those. And like I said, it's about $23. But you know what? You start pricing the Sefer, the book, the physical book, that can be as much as $300 or $400. The one I have was basically gifted to me through a ministry. And I love that thing. I've already highlighted in it. I've already underlined in it. I'm not really one to really write notes in the margins or anything. But I think I have doodled a couple little things. But yeah. So I really love it. It's really eye-opening. Getting to read, especially the books of Jasher, Jubilees, and Enoch. It tells a whole lot. I can understand why it was taken out. I don't think it ever should have been taken out, but I feel like if people had been studying, I'm sorry, I'm rocking. I'm sorry if I'm making you dizzy. I feel like my nose is running. I feel like if people had been able to read Um, Jasher, Jubilees, and Enoch always instead of little cardinal landed on one of my chairs on my patio. Sorry, I was a squirrel moment. I love cardinals though, and it's a male and he's beautiful. People have been able to read that, we wouldn't be where we are in religion today. I don't think we would. You know, but Yahuwah did tell Daniel in Daniel 12 verse 4, but thou Daniel seal up the book until the time of the end. Many will run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. Daniel 12:4. This is the book now unsealing. This is the book now being unsealed. Another thing I just learned this just yesterday reading the Christianity and the Great Deception. You know, we've always heard about the scary 666 number. That doesn't have anything to do with it. With the devil, with Hashatan, has nothing to do with him. It was supposed to be 3 Greek letters, and numbers were assigned to them instead of the letters that they were supposed to be. It is the Chi, the G, and the Sigma. If you want to look that up and see what those mean, then you would understand why I say you don't want to have anything to do with JC. You wouldn't want to have anything to do with that name, calling on that name, praying to that name, praying in that name, asking that name for anything. You wouldn't want to do that because it's not. And I do realize that that's a book that's not in the scriptures. He uses a lot of script. I mean, he uses a lot of scripture. But it's just, when you wake up and you see it, you can't unsee it anymore. I always thought of that as being kind of a scary thing, but I don't anymore. I don't consider that scary anymore. I don't know. They used to run the kind of a public service announcement, helpful things back in the 80s. I don't remember if I've seen it. I don't think I've seen it in the two. Maybe I have. Anyway, it was a little thing, and it was called The More You Know. Well, that's true. The more you know. The more you know, the more knowledge you have. I mean, in Hosea, it said, Yahuwah said, my people perish for lack of knowledge. So having knowledge and reading things and being in the know, I'm not in the know about everything, but I've learned a lot more than I ever knew before. It is not a bad thing. It's really not. When you read the truth and you come out of the brainwashing, it's a lot harder for the enemy to get a hold of you. You know, that's the good side of it. The bad side is everybody and your brother and your uncle and your sister, and they all probably are going to come against you if you start believing this way. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. I'm going to be real honest with you, as I was honest with the group. I have not told my mom and my sister yet. I know I've told y'all that I haven't told them that yet. With my mom, I don't know if I ever will, because she has dementia, and I just don't think she'll understand. My sister, who grew up Baptist, married a Catholic man and has converted to Catholicism. So I definitely don't feel like she'll understand. The only thing that she knows about me is I said I will never join another church. I will never attend church. I will never. What the heck was that? That was weird. Oh, it's birds? White birds, I guess. That was really weird looking. Sorry, I got kind of sidetracked. I'm looking out my back window. It's just so strange. I guess it's white birds, but they're flying with dark birds too. That is so weird. Okay, I have been seeing on all kinds of social media, people are seeing some weird things in the sky. Weird things, weird cloud formations, weird things. Y'all, something's going on. But we are told in the Bible, start looking up. So, anyway, it's just been, and there's so much more to talk about, but I can't think of all of it right now, and I should have made notes, and I didn't. I am going to try to get, or at least get it for my Kindle, another Rob Shaul book. Because the one I read, I think, was actually the third book. It's a huge series of like 12 books. The book I read was nearly 300 pages. One of his books is like 500 pages. I really want to get to the point where I quit watching YouTube and I quit looking at TikTok so much, and I just start reading more. Oh, another thing that has happened since I talked to y'all last is that my daughter and I have sat down and had some pretty good conversations. Once she realized that I'm not so hip on DJT, 45, 47, she has gone all in. And she is just so happy. She has never liked him, never ever liked him. She's vehemently against him. Big deal, big time. My son is too. So I think it gave her great relief to find out that I'm waking up to what she already knew about him. I just curled my hair a while ago, and it's kind of crazy. She woke up. She's been awake to all that for a long time, and because of what I now believe, I'm just now seeing it. And so she and I can have some very great conversations. But because my husband is still on the Trump train, they get into arguments. So politics is something they have decided to call off limits as far as conversation. And she had actually gotten him a book here a while back called The People's History of the United States. It's right here. Let me look. Hold on. A People's History of the United States by Howard Zinn, Zinn. I'm trying to get him to, he's hooked on Instagram, y'all. Watching the funny pet videos and kid videos and all that's all fine and good. You need a little release, a little, to laugh and all that. But when he starts getting into watching all the crap about Trump, I'm just kind of like, and then he talks to me. I don't have time to look at, when I'm at work, I'm at work. I work as a paraprofessional, and I go from one class to another, and I go from one student to another, and I just I don't have time to pull up TikTok and watch TikTok on my phone. I don't have time to look at Instagram. I don't have time to look at all that. And now I don't want to. And he can't understand why I don't want to. So when I come home, he goes, "Did you see such and such and such?" No, I didn't, because I don't look at stuff like that while I'm at work. When I'm at work, I'm at work. Actually, when I have a break, I either usually visit with my coworkers, or I do pull out my phone and pull up my app, my Sefer app, and I read my Bible. I actually like to kind of be by myself at lunch. I am kind of, I used to really be a big time people person. I'm really not anymore. Um, I just don't. This is going to sound horrible. Because, you know, people want to gossip, they want to talk, they want to tell you all about all the problems in their life. And yeah, everybody has problems. I have problems. We all have problems. But I don't want that to be. I want to focus on. I want to focus on him. I don't want to focus on my own problems. I don't want to focus on other people's problems. I I don't. I definitely don't want to gossip. I mean, that's wrong, no matter what. But I just, you know, I don't know. I'm kind of starting to kind of close myself off, and and I do think people have noticed it. People have noticed that I'm not into talking about DJT, not into talking about politics. I'm not into talking about all that. And I guess with some people, that's how the friendship started. So maybe now we don't have anything to talk about. I don't know. But I just, you know, ever since I learned the true names, and I've learned the truth, that's what I want to focus on. I don't want to focus on all the other crap. You know what I mean? Um, I I never ever thought that I would have ever jumped off the Trump train. I never thought that I would do anything like that, but I have. And now I see him for who he really is. And he's not a good person. Couldn't have told me that a year ago. You couldn't have told me that 7, 8 months ago. But I see it now. He's not a good person. One of my biggest hints that kind of really got my attention and made me do an about face completely was this talk about being the crypto capital, crypto currency capital of the world and the AI capital of the world. I don't like either one of those things. I do not. I do not. I know it's inevitable, but to be actually for something that's not a good thing and brag about it, to me, the switch went off in my brain. I switched completely. I said, okay, that's it. I keep hearing something. I was like, that's it. I'm done. I'm done. You know, I did have a hard time back when he was having his rallies. I came very close to, I got mad and wouldn't watch him for a little while because he was so talking so much and being so much into the, you know, that. And I was like, oh, I hated that. I hated that. Of course, you know, my husband defended him big time. And so that's, he and I now are kind of to the can't discuss politics point. I've never been one to really even like politics. I didn't understand it really in high school or college. I could have cared less. That's just not what I was worried about. And now I'm kind of circled back, and now I'm not. But whatever's going to happen is going to happen. And there's nothing anybody can do to stop it. It's Yahuwah's will. Sometimes we have to face hard things in order to grow. I was just thinking the other day that there's a title to a song, I think it was by Kelly Clark, and it was called What Doesn't Kill You Makes You Stronger. That's true. That's true. I'm not really into secular music. Although I'd rather listen to secular music than listen to any kind of gospel, any of that crap. My mom is into the Gaithers. I can't. I just can't. I can't even pretend. I can't even lie. I just can't, you know. Since my eyes have been open, I just can't. I can't go along with it. I can't see the good in it. I see nothing really but evil. I mean, really and truly evil. But y'all, what I've learned here lately, the truth about JC, because our Messiah's name is not that. Remember, I told you the letter J was only invented or created like in the 1500s. So it's not that old. So how is that his name? How did his name start with that letter? It didn't. It didn't. But there is a JC. But you have to ask yourself, who is that really? Okay? All the mega pastors love to say JC is Lord. Well, if you know that Lord in Hebrew means Baal, yes, the demon deity, Baal, Baal, and then people say JC is Baal, then it makes you wonder who he really is. Well, now I feel like I know. I feel like he's not pretty Jesus in the picture hanging on your wall. That's not who that is. That is not who that is. It's not. Look into it. Look into who Caesar, Cesar, Borgia is. Borgia. Borgia. Look into that. Look into who that really is. Because that's who that's a picture of. He was a pope's son. He was a gay man. And he actually had a relationship with King James. So think about who that Bible is. Who edited what in that Bible. I gotta go, y'all. I gotta go get something to eat. I got some things I gotta take care of around here. Gotta check and make sure my daughter made it to work okay. And I will talk to y'all later. Hopefully this won't take too long to download, but it might, because sometimes it takes a whole dadgum day, and I don't do any editing. I don't edit out a sneeze. I don't edit out nothing. So it takes a while. It takes a while. All right. I love y'all. Baruch Havashem Yahuwah. And I will maybe talk to y'all soon. I don't know. Love you. Bye.